Why do I always forget that this is coming until after the video is due? Why? Hey guys, it's Abby and today I'm doing the mid-year freakout tag. So every year the entirety of BookTube does this tag and every year I forget about it until people start posting it. Why? But I have the questions written on my paper here. It's really floppy. And I'm gonna go through them one by one. That tends to be how you do. If you want to see more of my content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below and like the video if you enjoy. So the first question is the best book that I've read so far. Now, I did a little bit of prep for this, a little bit of prep. And I actually went and looked through, I've been using Corpile, the spreadsheet that G from Book Roast created, spelled C-A-W-P-I-L-E, where you rate books in that manner and it gives you an exact score. So although I've had 15 5-star reads already in 2021, but I can actually see which one actually has the highest rating. And it's this, it's Waistcoats and Weaponry by Gail Carriger. I loved this so much and it is the highest rated book I have read so far this year. Completely unexpected. This series is it follows a young girl going to a finishing school in Victorian England, but it is a fantasy steampunk setting, and she's learning how to be a spy. It's fantastic, I love it. I love it so much. Clearly, but I also gave 5 stars to Manners and Mutiny, the last book in the series. It's just so much fun. Then question 2 is the best sequel so far, and this is actually really close behind in the list there, and technically it should, if I go by the ratings, be The Dawn Chorus, but I'm going to go with The Mask Falling by Samantha Shannon. This is amazing. This is amazing. This is amazing. This is such a good book. I adore the Bone Season series so much, and The Dawn Chorus is the highest rated that I've read this year of the Bone Season books. I read The Pale Dreamer, The Dawn Chorus and this one. The other 2 are novellas. But yeah, I love this series so much. It kind of crosses between fantasy, sci-fi and dystopian, and it follows a young girl in a controlling society where magic is not allowed, but she is magic. That is the worst explanation ever, and that is what you're getting. Question 3 is a new release that you haven't got to yet, and I don't really have a proper answer for this one. I do have an answer, but it's from 2020. Considering the events of the past year and a bit, I'm considering that within the past year. I think it counts. And so that is A Song of Wraiths and Ruin by Roseanne A. Brown. This was gifted to me by the wonderful Carrie from Caring for Books, links in the description. And also Olivia Savannah from Olivia's Catastrophe, link in the description, has read this and she thinks that I'll really enjoy it, and for some reason that woman has a fantastic lock on my reading tastes. She knows. I don't know how you've done it. I don't know how you've done it, but you know what I like to read and you know what I'll enjoy. So I'm expecting this to be fantastic. Like, fantastic. And also I'm here for the Black Girl magic as well. Diversify my shelves, please and thank you. There's no releases from 2021 that I'm like, why haven't I read that? I've read some 2021 releases already, but yeah. So we're going with 2020. It's fine, it counts. It's been a mess, okay? The past year and a half has been hell. You can let me have this. On a related note, an anticipated release. I don't really follow new releases of books other than directly in series that I'm already interested in. So Skullduggery Pleasant has had 2 books out this year, so the next book will not be out this year. Samantha Shannon, she's released a book this year, so she won't be releasing another book this year. So I don't have any anticipated releases. Like, I don't know. I've just thought of a book that I want to read and I haven't. I have a better answer than Wraiths and Ruin. Sorryland by Rivers Solomon. I want to read it. It came out this year. I desire it. Please and thank you. Sorry, I got very happy with myself. But yes, so that is a new release that I haven't gotten to yet. But I don't have an anticipated release. I don't do that. I have enough books on my shelves. Okay? I have enough books on my shelves, right? Leave me alone. The next question is the biggest disappointment. Now, some people will still hold up like a 4-star book that they were expecting to be 5 stars, but it didn't hit it and it was so disappointing, and I totally get that, and sometimes I do the same, but this time it's a book I gave 2 stars to. This was just It's a thriller book following a girl who, well, she's now a woman, she's now 30 years old-ish, and when she was a kid, when she was a 7-year-old girl, her entire family, apart from her older brother, were brutally murdered, and she put the blame on her older brother, but oh, did he not actually do it? I hated it. I hated it. I hated it. Next up is the biggest surprise, and I think for that one I'm probably going to go with Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, because I went into this expecting to give it 3 stars, thinking it could go to 4, could go to 2, it'll be fine, it's just a classic, I'm just going to read it because I want to get through my shelves, I have these on my shelves, and I want to be able to say that I've read classics, and 3 stars is still a good book. Like, if I give a book 3 stars, I still enjoyed it. Once it hits 2, I didn't like it, but 3 stars, I still like a book. So I was like, yeah, okay, I gave it 5 stars. I gave it 5 stars. I loved it. I was not expecting to love it at all. No expectations were set up on this book, and I adored it. We follow the Bennet sisters as their mother tries to marry them off into rich husbands so that they are set for life in the 1800s. I love it. This is the one with Darcy in, if you need the cultural link. Next up is favourite new author, and I've solidified some authors that I read in 2020 as favourites by reading another book from them in 2021. So again, I'm just melding the years together, but Rivers Solomon and Akwaeke Emezi, they are both amazing. They are both fantastic. I love them both. I read Freshwater by Akwaeke Emezi last year and Pet by them this year, and I adored this. And with Rivers Solomon, last year I read The Deep by them, and that was amazing. And this year I read An Unkindness of Ghosts, and that was also amazing. All 4 of those books got 5 stars, so I'm gonna say that's a new favourite author. I already knew that I liked their work and was interested in picking more up, but the fact that I've given 2 books from both authors 5 stars, they are both new favourites. Newest fictional crush. I don't do that. I'm demisexual. I don't do that. Next question. Newest favourite character. Oh, can you tell I didn't read this far down the list? Do I go with Jam? Jam's fantastic. But then also, oh, what was her name? I'm so bad with names. I read this last month, that's why I can remember. But our main character from An Unkindness of Ghosts, I adore her. She's amazing. Or do I go with Seraphina? I can't say her name. Seraphina? From the Finishing School series? There's my answers. You get all 3. Please and thank you. A book that made me cry. I haven't had a book to do that so far this year. Not one single book yet this year has made me cry. I am a crier. I will cry when I read. The most prolific one that I remember is when I read The Tattooist of Auschwitz. I got an EOC of it, and I full on broke down in my 3rd year of uni, to the point where my best mate living next door, he was like, what are you doing? Why are you squealing? Like, what is the noise coming from your room? And I'm like, I'm having an emotional breakdown. So if I read Silka's Journey in the second half of 2021, that will make me cry, but I haven't read any yet. The one that's been closest is probably The Mask Falling, because Samantha Shannon likes to break our hearts. Book that made you happy. I had 2 of those, and I've mentioned them both already. Actually, Manners and Mutiny. Let's go with Manners and Mutiny, because it's slightly different from the other ones. The other options were Pride and Prejudice and Waistcoats and Weaponry, but Manners and Mutiny is a book where I sat and just held it and smiled when I finished. So, if that doesn't count, I don't know what does. The most beautiful book. I don't know. I mean, I guess seeing as I took this off of the list, I can put it back on the list. Like, I replaced this with Sorryland by Rivers Solomon. So this, look at it, it's pretty. This is going back on the list instead. There we go. Simple. And then the last question is a book that I need to read by the end of the year. There are so many of these, but the one that is... I put off books that I want to read. I leave them like, no, not now, read it another time. This is one of them. Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse, gifted to me by Carrie from Caring for Books. This is a fantasy book written by an Indigenous author, indigenous to the North Americas. And I know almost nothing, but I've heard fantastic things about this book. And also look at this, look at the cover, it's gorgeous. So yes, this is the one that I'm like, I need to read this. But surprisingly floppy. I need to read this by the end of 2021. And that is my 2021 mid-year freakout. Let me know down below, guys, how many books you've read so far this year. I have read 61 books as of filming so far this year, which is ridiculous. I don't know how I've managed 61, but I'm not complaining. And fingers crossed I can keep it up as the year goes on. If you liked watching the video, guys, please do hit the subscribe button down below and hit the like button if you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!